Right.
Shalom.
Giving our praises to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem,
Barakadash. Give it double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth. Back at it out here this afternoon. We're going to start and go straight in. And there's a lot happening regarding current events. There's a lot happening. We're going to start with the precepts. Let's start with this precept, just going in the spirit. 1 Corinthians 3 and 12 says, yeah, you can start.
Do you want me to read it? Can't. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 12. Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay and stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire.
Right, yeah. So we want to build our house as there's another one, the precept in Matthew.
Man built his house on the sand, right?
Yeah, built a house on the man that built his house upon the sand, and you've got the man that built his house upon the rock. So our foundation, we want it to be, if any man built upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones, yeah. For the brothers that are into their precious stones. And actually, I didn't plan on doing this, but the Spirit said to me, bring this today. This is the newest one to my collection. This is green fluoride to help me with my concentration. I've got some of those issues, you know, to stay focused. It's one of those precious stones we're talking about, and there's so many. We're learning about new things all the time. The new gold, the gold that they have that belongs to us. The 24 karat gold, 22 karat gold, and 9 karat gold, and gold that's off the chart. You know. Now, if any man build upon the foundation solid gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble. So we don't want to be building on that. Sand or wood, hay or stubble. Because that's not gonna endure what is about to come. As we're gonna get into later, some of these things that are that the wicked are circling their wagons, they're planning to give us the serpent juice.
Yeah.
You know, the serpent venom. And it's nothing new, this serpent venom. Something that we've always been aware of, a lot of us from when we was young. And we knew people that had this, I remember years ago they was talking about there's certain effects that you can get from just taking an ordinary jab, like a flu jab.
Yeah.
Just an ordinary, and that was like a couple of years ago. And then there was a swine flu.
Yeah, they tried it with that swine flu pandemic.
Swine flu, the bird flu.
Yeah, they tried that too.
The measles. These was always getting better, wasn't it? It was always getting better. We was always going to improve it for you. We make things better for you. You see? So if every man's work shall be made manifest, and we was gaining knowledge and seeing, boy, what kind of people are these people, man? From when we was younger, we looked at the needle. I don't know about anybody, but we looked at that needle, and that it never looked natural for them to put that needle in your arm.
It's not natural.
It never looked right. Just it's all right. You're very brave, and then dab a little bit of.
And they give you a sticker.
Give you a lollipop, and send you away, and you're going on thinking, oh, I'm gonna be Superman now. I remember feeling tired, man. I was young. I was about, because I've been thinking about a little bit of some of the things that's been happening recently, and we were so vulnerable. We didn't know any better. Sadly, you know, it's kind of, but we're learning, and we're going to be able to vent the frustration. I remember feeling very tired just by having a flu jab, like afterwards. I remember being a young man wanting to run and then sit down, feeling tired. And I said, what the fuck? I was asking myself, why do I feel like this? And I want to be able to run like the bionic man, and I'm feeling tired.
Did they give that to you in the school?
In the schools, when we was in the schools.
How old was you?
Primary school.
Young then.
11, 9, I remember the ages, 8 years old. Saying, now we've got, they're here now, the nurses are here, everybody's going to line up and get your measles, your chicken pox thing. So anyway.
I never got the chicken pox one. I actually got chicken pox later on in life, when I was around 19.
Right.
And I'm glad I didn't get the jab, because I never liked the needles either, man. Never liked them either.
So yeah. So every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, man.
Yep.
And who's gonna stand when he starts to say, right, this is mandatory now over there in Australia, this serpent's venom. Over there in Australia, they're saying, yeah, everything's open back up. You know, we can go to the cinema, we can go to the restaurant, we can have a nice time. The football matches, we have to be at the football matches, but you've got to have your jab, the serpent venom.
So like it, man, I just add to that. There's another I read earlier on just before I came out. Apparently, in Australia, they're trying to track people's social media as well, to see who's sort of what do they say, anti-government dissent. Like it? Yeah, who's an anti-government dissenter against these mandates? So Australia is basically becoming like China with the they have their social credit score system, where if you are not doing things complicit with what the government mandates, then your social credit score goes down, and you're going to be denied access to things such as traveling on public transport or certain jobs. You know, they might look at your social credit score and think, nah, we don't want this guy. So basically, it's another way of Esau tightening his grip around the people in order to force them to conform to the mandates that they're pushing. That's it.
Yeah. So I think we read up to 13, innit?
Yeah, shall I read more?
Yeah, probably.
Right, so it says, if any man's work abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. And if any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire.
Right. So 14 says, if any man work abide, which he have built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. And we're thinking about, I think about that reward. Any kind of time when you have to exert yourself, whether it be running 100 meters, marathon run. Some brothers go there into the gym and thing, and whatever you're into, you know, if you're into the herbs, you're into whatever you're into, you're thinking of the end result for you to get better at the end. You put up that thing on that. That was a good thing with Hezekiah, because Hezekiah had a sickness.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Shall I get it for you?
Yeah, we can get to that. Because that was that showed the power of the Most High too. There's a lot of things you can learn from that example.
Shall I bring it out now?
Yeah, you might as well, go on.
Right, this is 2 Kings chapter 20 from verse 1. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and the prophet Isaiah, son of Amos, came to him, and said unto him, Thus saith Yahweh, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live.
Yeah. So that was in those days Hezekiah fell sick. Right. He fell sick, man. Here's a man of the Lord doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. He fell sick. So when it happens to us, we shouldn't be saying, well, why me? Which the flesh might be saying that.
Can't.
You know, flesh might want to say that.
Yeah, it's like Job said, whoever perished being innocent. So we've all done sins worthy of death, because sin is transgression of the law. And there's no man on this earth right now who can say I haven't sinned, be it in this life or in lives past.
Right.
So therefore, my whole mindset, whenever I get injured personally, like if I stub my toe on the stair,
Yep.
or even if I just bang my elbow and it's not like a major thing, anytime that happens to me, I say, you know what, man, that was judgment from the Most High for sins I've done in this life and the sins I've done in lifetimes past.
Right.
So every time we experience pain or suffering, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
And if I just may add to that, the Most High likes to see men suffer. His men suffer, I should say. The Most High likes that, because if Yahweh, who was the only begotten Son of the Most High, what does it say? It pleased Yahweh to bruise him.
Yeah.
So, and remember, the servant isn't greater than his master. So in our case, in our lifetimes, we've all been through things. We've all been hurt physically and or mentally, you know, because there's two types of pain. You can have physical pain or you can have mental pain. Sometimes mental pain is actually worse, because the physical cut can, like, let's say you get your arm cut, that heals naturally. But if someone's wounded you in your spirit or in your mind, those kind of wounds can last a very long time.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that as men of the Lord, we have to gird up our loins and be men. We can't cry and be like, oh, but why did the Lord do this? Why did the Lord do that? No, we deserve everything we get. Back to you.
Yeah, because he likes to see us go through pain, because it's Ecclesiastes talks about it's better to go to better to go to the house of mourning
Than the house of
to the
feasting.
house of feasting, because not because he likes to he's not because he's sadistic like they are on the left hand side. Who's that? Someone over there taking pictures.
Yeah, I'm just watching. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to distract you. Carry on.
No, it's all good. Let him take pictures. I just wanted to know that I see what he's doing.
I think it's a
You
woman.
might be on my plantation in the kingdom, so
I think it's a woman.
he or she, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want pictures of us, you might get pictures of us. Might be a bit more too close for your comfort, man. If we get you in the kingdom, which we can get you in the kingdom, if that's what we want. Right. So yeah, he says, set thine house in order. So back to what you were saying about, most I'd like to see, I remember there's many, we can all get into experiences about the pains that we've had, physical and all kinds of different emotional pain. But I'm going to give one example, because what Elder Ma'at said about a week or the week before, he said he felt like one day he worried that he might wake up and he see white skin.
Oh, being Edomite.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wake up and you look like Macaulay Culkin.
So that's spiritual, you see, that's spiritual. I mean, you're black, you know what I mean, you're not liked in this kingdom, but at the end of the day, you're blessed, so-called black. You know?
Yeah.
You're blessed just because you're not an Edomite.
Yeah.
And I had my little thing, right, which I mentioned it. I cut my finger, man, and I had my knife, I used my knives, and I do what I have to do in the kitchen. I sliced a bread, it was a bread knife, and I went to slice it, and as you say, the Mosai made it slip, and it cut my finger. Good, nice, good cut. I looked away, and then I said, is it still there? The finger's still there. That's how serious it was. It was painful, and it was still there. Yara to die, finger's still there. But when I done what I had to do, put all my medicine on it.
Did you make a balm?
A balm. There's a thing called emu oil, which you know, people can pick up on some of that. Do research on that. If you go in through anything, you don't want to go to hospital. They say that it works miracles, but I don't want to oversell it. Go on, what you say?
It's like I didn't mean to interject, but right now you want to stay at the hospitals as much as possible. You might go in there with a broken toe and they'll tell you got COVID and put you on a ventilator and kill your ass.
Right.
So like
here's a little bit of, you know, yeah, you know, to do what you got to do, fix up, and as one of the elders say, Elder Tahar says, start collecting some of these things that are going to be beneficial to you, for you to stay out. Don't want to get a strike for giving wrong medical information, you know, giving out false medical information. But collect some of these things that you know, you're aware of, and use them to keep your ass out of that cemetery.
Yeah.
I like to use another word, cemetery, because when I used to go there, just walking through there and coming out, you feel fucking sick. Just being around sick people. They say that sick people have a vibration, man. But
well, it's the demons that are making them sick. So there's a very heavy spiritual presence in places such as hospitals.
Yeah.
Because there's demons all up in them places, man. But carry on.
Yeah, so the Most High puts us through things, but there's an end result. It's not because he just likes to see us suffer just for the sake of it, like what the royal family do to certain people, and what other certain people do, you know, the elite, what they do, because they want to hear people screaming.
Yeah.
The terror, they like the sound of terror. Which, there's a side of that, you know, that I'm going to get into that too, and get into that. One way or another, I'm going to get into that, because maybe I might want to start returning the things that you've done to what you ever done, return upon your own head and see how you like it.
Yep.
You see, but the Most High is not about that. There's an end result, and there's a method to the madness. Thus saith Yahweh, we carry on reading, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Right. There's another example we can get to after this too.
I'll continue.
Yeah, carry on.
So right, verse 2, not Isaiah. 2 Kings 20 verse 2. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto Yahweh, saying, I beseech thee, O Yahweh, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore.
Yeah, you see. So yes, it was like a petition. He was a man, he wasn't perfect, but he tried to do the best he could. But the point is, it sobered him up in regards to where he was in his spiritual life. That when I cut my finger, that sobered my ass up. Because when I was going to do things, I'm so used to doing everything. Brothers, for those of us that are into that, some of us are into the handy thing. Some people do what they have to do, physical work, and you know, some of us use our brain more. But I'm used to using my hands. I'm used to having all my hands, everything working 110%, man. And it was like I was disabled all of a sudden. I couldn't do what I want to do and all the other things I like to just do naturally, quick. And I was disabled, so that made me realise, hold on a minute, man. Now, it sobered me up. And I prayed to the Most High, man. I said, supposing it don't ever heal up. Because there's certain things that if you don't get stitches, right, you can get septic.
Yeah, and you can lose the whole thing.
You understand? That's why they say you must go to the thing and they do what they do. But for those of us that know a little bit on that side of things, you've got tea tree oil, you've got alcohol, if you just want to do it raw, like that, salt water, you can put in the wound to clean it up. There's things that seal it, like certain honeys will seal up your wound so you don't have to go and get stitches and stuff like that. So it sobered me up, but at the same time my survival instincts was kicking in, and we're talking about herbs. This wasn't the plan, but we're getting into the herbs. But my survival instincts kicked in, and I went into what I have in my little pharmacy. There's a lot there, but it reminded me what I got, and I was so grateful that I had certain experiences in the past that why I had all those things there in the first place. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Certain painful experiences, why I was ready for if it happens again. They talk about sometimes if you get your first aid, and I got the first aid here with us today. So it sobered me up, you know. So that's a sobering thought when the Most High is not doing it just for the sake of making you ill. There's reasons behind it.
Precepts?
Right.
On that point, because you said that in times past you bought certain things so you had them on deck when you needed them in the emergency. This is Proverbs 20 and verse 24. Man's goings are of Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way? And if I may just say something, you cutting your finger was destined to happen from the very beginning. From the very beginning of time. I don't know what the date you injured yourself was. Let's just say hypothetically it's September. Alright, let's just say it's August 23rd. Yeah. Yahweh determined that on August 23rd at 6:20 p.m. hypothetically you're going to cut your finger, but yet he prepared you for it beforehand. Before you even knew that would happen, the Most High made sure, okay, I'm going to give him enough, so I'm going to wound him, but he's going to have enough that he can deal with what I'm going to make him go through. See what I'm saying? So the scriptures say the Most High won't give a man more than he can bear. Yeah, right. So he gave you all the tools you needed to survive in that little instance.
Yeah, and it sobered me up. And when I went home, taking pictures. So when I went later on that night, which I done what I needed to do, the first aid side of things, it was throbbing, just throbbing, you know. And that reminded me once. I'm going to use this. There's a testimony. Back when I first came into this. First heard of the truth when I was visiting, and I got to the point where I knew that you should be at camp every Saturday, and I just made a bunked off, right? I bunked off, right? For whatever reason, fear, a bit of Jonah must have crept up in me, right? So I missed camp, and then I said I got to do some shopping. I went and I tried to do what I needed to do. I was feeling good about myself, and I leaped over some wall because I was feeling so good. I leaped up and I came down. Right? And I went home. I was limping at first, then I went home. I said, whatever. And then the thing stopped throbbing. I said, wait a minute. I looked, it was swollen up. And I told brothers about this when we was in the other camp before GMS. And anyway, try and keep it as short as possible. I done what I needed to do, bandage it up and everything. And I was on crutches for a week, right? And then I said to myself, why did I miss camp? Mm-hmm. If I was at camp, that wouldn't have happened.
There you go.
Right? So, I explained everything to the brothers, and they saw and they said, oh boy, that was a Jonah move. And I was thinking, I hope I'm not Jonah, man, but that was a Jonah move. And ever since then, Yahweh Ratazar, I've been staying on top of things, being at camp for the most part, and even the best thing is that I've been healthy. Keeping my health, like physically healthy, and that's all the things that I've learned about the pharmacy side of things. Yahweh Ratazar, I stay that way. But the moral of the story is, there's a lot of morals to this story, man. I want to try and get to it. Yeah.
Come on, I'll keep reading, right?
Yeah.
Verse 3, I beseech. I've read that before. Verse 4, and it came to pass, afore Isaiah was gone out into the middle court, the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people. Thus saith Yahweh, the power of David thy father. I have heard thy prayer, and I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. On the third day thou shalt go up into the house of Yahweh, and I will add unto thy days 15 years. And I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake.
Right, yeah, there's a lot there, man. I want to try and just
Break it down
because, right, where was it? He said that he prayed to the Most High, right?
Yeah, he turned his face to the wall.
Right, that was in 5, yeah?
Yeah, shall I read it again?
Yeah, read it again, bro.
Right, so it says, where he prayed, yeah, that's verse 3. Right, verse 2, Slakia. So it says, Hezekiah, he then turned his face to the wall and prayed to Yahweh, saying,
Right.
I beseech thee, O Yahweh, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. Hezekiah wept sore.
Yeah, so he prayed, and the Most High heard his prayer, his petition, as you say, the Most High, you know, sometimes it's good to be in that like I say, go to the house of mourning, man, because you remember the Most High, man.
Yeah.
Know? You reflect on the Most High, and you reflect on how far you've come, and you want to take it all the way there. He prayed. The most important part was the Most High, he beseeched the Most High, and the Most High heard his prayer. And 4 says, and it came to pass before Isaiah was gone unto the house, the middle court, that the word of the Yahweh came unto him, saying, Turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, thus saith Yahweh thy power, David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, and I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee.
Yep.
Right. So we don't, when we get hit for any kind of thing while we get ill, or in my case, I sprained my ankle. I learned a valuable lesson when I sprained my ankle, and I was healed, and I was healed spiritually as well and physically, because it sobered my ass up. It sobered me up. You understand? And it made me start reflecting on more important things than my own little fleshly things.
Yep.
So it sobered me up, right? Made me focus on prayer and appreciate my health now. I appreciate I still live it nice, you know. I appreciate that I've recovered from that. And he also goes on to say that and I will add unto thy days 15 years.
That's a long time.
So boy, you give me 15 years on top of, you know, if you're gonna have to do that to make, you know, and he added on top of it. So
Yep.
as I say that, I say that to say this. Sometimes you think you're taking an L, but an L in the flesh is really a W in the spirit.
If it's for the right reason, yeah.
If it's for the right reason, and you have the right mindset to learn from it, you know, because you got what's happening over there now with a lot of our people, and where some people are waking up with the tornadoes over there in is it California, it's Queens and New York, but a lot of them places there, Louisiana. Some people may sober up. But a lot of people ain't going to sober up. They ain't going to start. I've done a video that a woman phoned in on one of them so-called conscious community phone-ins and said the Most High is angry with us. I saw what happened. She said she was
Was it a Jake woman?
A Jake woman, right? There's you know what's going on with a revealing or an exposing or what's the word, man?
Pulling back the veil.
They're imploding.
Yeah, imploding. Yeah.
They're imploding from the inside out, the conscious community, because of they're exposing all the pedo that goes on in there. So certain people are getting called out, and it's people talk about politeness. I'll leave other people too, thinking that they're going to go under the radar. But the point is, the woman phoned in and said the Most High is angry with us. That's why this is happening to us. She said she saw it firsthand, the floods over there. And she said the way she saw it, she said, I knew that was God. She said, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite, but I don't subscribe to the camps, but I do understand that the Most High, what they're saying is what their elders are saying, and the brothers on down, saying that the Most High is angry. He's turning it up.
Yep.
He's turning up, and she acknowledged that, putting a lot of them to shame because they think that intelligence is going to save them. Intelligence or understanding anything contrary to humbling yourself and humbling down. Anything contrary to humbling down is salvation in that. The Ankh, worshipping the Egyptian gods. So, I say that to say this. When you go through those things, go to the house of mourning, it can sober you up if you've got
Yep.
the right mindset
That's correct.
and wake you up. You got a script, please?
Yeah, just a quick one on what you were saying. Psalm 7 verse 11, the Most High is judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day.
Right.
So what you said about the judgment of the Lord, that woman said she knew it was the judgment from the Lord. She was on point.
Yeah.
Because it's the Most High that wounds and it's the Most High that heals.
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 32 verse 39. Back to you.
Right. So, and Isaiah take, and he said, right, here's another thing that I'm going to bring this up to. And Isaiah said in 7,
Shall I
yeah,
read
you
it?
can read it.
Right, so it says, verse 7, and Isaiah said, take a lump of figs, and they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered.
Right. So you got to be obedient in that sense where if the Most High says you got to do something, he said if he take figs, even the doctors say this crap, but the doctors it means to falsify. Finish the course, right? If you're going to take
Course of things, yeah.
which I'm allergic to, those fucking antibiotics. I found that out too. But they say finish your course, and I realised even if I just took one, it would just mess me up completely. And they tell you to finish the course. But my body was very reactive to the pharmaceutical things. My body was talking to me even then. So that's how I got into the herbs. But the point is, the Most High is saying do this, A, B, C, and D, and then this is going to be the result. And Ezekiel, being a man of the Lord, he did it. Hezekiah, Slakia, being a man of the Lord, he did it. And
Yep.
that was there's so much morals in this.
And he did it with faith.
Yeah.
Because this is another thing, Slakia, you could do all the things under the sun that technically, according to, like look at the example of Antiochus Epiphanes when he fell off his chariot, right? Don't you think he had physicians and people telling him if you take this herb you get better and X, Y, and Z, but the guy wasn't healing, and that's the reason is because the Most High was punishing him for his wickedness and what he tried to do to our people, so he wasn't going to find no cure. So that was the Most High humble him. So what I'm saying is, when you're using the herbs, remember always to pray.
Yes.
Because that's, the two go hand in hand. Because the Most High wants to see your faith. Do you believe? Like again with Yahweh Shai, when he went up to the people to heal them, he's like, you know what? Do you believe I can do this? And yeah, I believe. And they believed and they were healed. And he would say to some of them, thy faith has made thee whole. Back to you.
Yeah, because as it goes on to say, let's turn over the page, because he was healed because he had that faith. The scriptures talk about it's not the herbs that makes you well, it's the Most High's faith along with the herbs. So that's why when you take the herbs, you put up a little blessing, or you bless the herbs.
Yeah. There's a bit more here about faith. Shall I get into it?
Yeah, go on.
Right, so verse 8 says, and Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, what shall be the sign that Yahweh will heal me? So he asked him, what shall be the sign?
Yeah, what verse? What
verse 8, verse 8.
Right, verse 8.
20 and 8, yeah? Shall I carry on?
Yeah.
So he asked Isaiah, what shall be the sign that Yahweh will heal me? And that I shall go up into the house of Yahweh in the third day. And Isaiah said, this sign shalt thou have of Yahweh, that Yahweh will do the thing that he hath spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees, or go back 10 degrees? And Hezekiah answered, it is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees, nay, but let the shadow return backwards 10 degrees. Now let me just give a bit of context here.
Yeah.
Back in ancient times you'd have had something called a sundial. You still see them in certain places now, but a sundial is basically where it's a clock, but it uses the light to tell the time. So for example, if it's 4 p.m, the shadow will be in a certain position. If it's 5 p.m, the shadow will be in another position. So Hezekiah said it's an easy thing for the shadow to go in its normal course, but he said let the shadow go back 10 degrees. So it said at verse 11, and Isaiah the prophet cried unto Yahweh, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backwards, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz. So there you go.
Right, so that was a sign, yeah?
Yep, that was the sign that he'd be healed.
So, and it's good when you see a sign that you're getting better, man. That's
Oh,
an
sure.
uplifting thing too.
Yep.
When you see signs, if for example, I'll give my example. When I was on crutches, and I said, boy, if I have to stay on crutches, how am I going to be able to get out of camp every day? I mean, every
week.
Saturday. So I made me say, boy, man, please, I need to be healed. You can't, And then eventually, one crutch went down there, and I started to come to camp with one crutch. And then eventually the Most High just said, he put me back on, on target, on track again, by healing me. And as I was a bit younger in the faith, then it had a faith boosting effect on me.
That's beautiful.
Spiritually too, because nobody as a young man want to be able to have to be, he's sitting in down there. All the worst things come to your mind, sitting in a wheelchair, man.
For the rest of your life.
Fuck, being in the, oh my God. See, so when the Most High gave me that sign that, and there's other things, and I know brothers got so many testimonies about the ups and downs of getting to this truth, the ups and downs we have to go through. There's another little point I want to get to too, in 6. Read 6 again.
Come on. So this is once again in 2 Kings 20 verse 6. And I will add unto thy days 15 years, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake.
So from sickness to triumph, man. From being down in the dumps, what they call that? There's a saying, man. From rags to riches, man. From rags to riches. From being broke to winning the lottery. From being a beggar to winning the lottery. See how the Most High, you see, we
If I may, it's lucky to add to that as well, he didn't just heal Hezekiah, he saved the whole city. Because remember he said he's not going to give the city into the hand of the Assyrians. So everybody in the city benefited from that prayer that Hezekiah made.
Right, so I'm going to turn back to the page as a matter of fact, because I was looking at this. Before you brought out the thing on the chat, I was actually looking at the thing with the rescue in the city. If you go back to page 19, go back to 19.
Yeah.
Which was this verses 14.
Okay.
Some of the things that Hezekiah had to deal with. Yeah.
Right, so this is 2 Kings chapter 19 verse 14. And Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of Yahweh and spread it before Yahweh.
Right, carry on.
And Hezekiah prayed before Yahweh and said, O Yahweh, power of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the power, even thou alone, all the kingdoms of the earth, and thou hast made the heavens and the earth. Yahweh, bow down thine ear and hear. Open Yahweh thine eyes and see and hear the words of Sennacherib, which have sent him to reproach of the living power.
Right, he's mocking the power, he's mocking the true God, the kings around about him.
Okay. Of a truth, Yahweh, the kings of Assyria have destroyed the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire, for they were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore have they destroyed them.
Right.
Carry on.
That's what the Most High did to all the other gods. And it's going on and he's breaking it down. What verse are you in now?
I'm about to hit 19.
Right, carry on.
Right, verse 19. Now therefore, O Yahweh our power, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art Yahweh power, even thou only.
So the spirit that was on Hezekiah, you see, it was on about victory, but it was going to vindicate the Most High's name.
Yes.
It was going to glorify the Most High's name.
Just as King David did when he fought Goliath.
Right.
He
So
vindicated the Lord's name.
So that's it. That's how David was the wada, beloved man after the Most High, Jehovah Yahushua's own heart, because he was always about victory, but he always gave glory to the Most High.
Yeah.
His spirit that was in him, the attitude that was in him. It wasn't just for the
Look at me.
Let's deal with these people. He wasn't a narcissist. Anyway, it wasn't just about his own ego.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why the Most High gave him these victories. And as it goes on, was that 19 or was that 19?
Yeah.
19, yeah. Carry on.
Right, so verse 20. Then Isaiah, the son of Amos, sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith Yahweh power of Israel, that which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard. This is the word that Yahweh hath spoken concerning him.